that I know
We
All right.
only send that to the ones that usually forget.
But you were here already, so I didn't need this.
I like the reminder.
of. I do too.
Yeah,
But anyway,
hey, last time.
let's call the meeting to order. And what do we have for a quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Plenty.
I think that is plenty. So you can participate, ask questions, anything else, just not gonna be vote. Okay, how about approval of the minutes of September 11, 2023?
I move we, accept the minutes of September 11th as, amended.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right. Moving along on our agenda, we got old business, no land use ordinance, no new, old business on development review. New business, no land use. At the moment, and development review ordinance, we've got the town of Islesboro affordable property. It's actually not town of Islesboro, is it? It's Islesboro affordable property.
Right.
Map 17, lot 9A, application MD 202-23 to develop two 930 square foot bedrooms. 930 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, single family homes to be offered as low moderate income rental units.
930 square foot is the footprint, not the size of the building.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, that's what it says here is 930 square foot. So that is the footprint,
That's the
correct?
footprint, not the capacity of the building.
Right, because it's got a second floor with partial living
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And we have Rick Rogers here from IAP. I see we have two. Yep, subsurface wastewater and septic designs,
Yep.
each for 3 bedroom.
I didn't have that information in my file.
If you have the envelopes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to vote.
All right,
Did you pick it up earlier in the week?
No,
Okay.
I'll just look. That may be, that envelope may have been not in the file itself, so.
I see the one house and the septic systems are real close to the 15-foot mark. Which is still good, it's beyond the 15-foot mark, all other measurements. That I can tell. Look all right.
Septic fields themselves, when it comes to being near the property line, yes, the rule of thumb is 15 feet. But because it's going to be revegetated and
Right.
not, you can actually, I can issue a variance for it closer if need be.
Okay, I'm not too worried about septic fields because I know that at the house up island on Big Tree Lane, the septic tank itself actually was half on other people's property. They had to work it all out with,
Yeah, easements and yeah, it's.
Now, is the well going to be shared between the two
Yes.
houses? Oh, it is?
I had JT out there, it's got plenty, each of them got plenty of water. It's like,
but they're not gonna be on the same pump.
This was in.
Or are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
also some
Oh,
other
well,
things
somebody-
that
What's that?
that may have
Have to be
been,
done inside that.
but they're not
That's
in an
true,
envelope, so.
that's true.
I just took this.
Okay, that's fine.
So if somebody has trouble with their water, they're both gonna have trouble with their water, but,
Yeah.
Rita James is the same way, there are 3 wells for 8 houses.
oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Have you tested it for potability, whatever? Tastiness?
I cannot say that that's been done.
It's been there for a while.
It's been there we drilled that well for Mark Schneider because we had to get a variance. I'm sorry, I had to get an easement to put the septic system for Ruby 143 because there was no percolable dirt over there. And when we put that down, it became too close to Mark's old well, so we had to fill that well in. We had to dig this well to replace the well that we had to fill in for Mark. And so that, I'm guessing that all happened about 10 years ago. 2012 is when we moved in, when we got the keys to the Ruby 143, 145. So it was probably somewhere in 2011, early 2012 that well went up.
This is the lot that's cleared to the right of where,
You're standing Kerry Grindle's front yard, looking
Yeah.
north, that's the.
That's the one.
That's our side.
yeah.
And so there was a house on the property?
I asked Mark that question because there's an old septic tank and an old septic field, which we're gonna have removed because it's not where we want it at. But he is, I don't know how far back Mark goes with that property, but he didn't know that, you know, there was a well, there was a septic tank, and there's a septic field there, but there's not, as far as he knows, there was never any house there. So I don't, maybe there was way back, I don't know.
Or it could have been.
Never
proposed and
finished,
never
yeah, I don't know.
finished, yeah.
I did want to ask you, Rick, something.
When you figure it out.
So the IAP will continue to own the property as a whole unit? It
Yeah.
won't subdivide it into different lots at this point? Unless they decide to sell? Is that how it works?
Okay, if IAP is. I'm currently not planning on selling it, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I guess what I would say is that, and this probably goes for whoever was gonna do the site review, and, those 3 lots that Mark gave us were not transferred as 3 lots, they're transferred as 1 lot. You can check that on the tax map now on page 17-9A, or I actually have the tax receipt in my book here that'll show you that it's a 6.13 acre lot now, not 3 adding up to that.
Yeah,
And so, the reason I did that was because then I could get 4 houses instead of 3, which if you looked at the size of those lots, you could have only done 3 before. And then, as a majority of you know, I've been coming to all those planning board, meetings, not, what do you call them? Workshops.
But yeah,
And what I've advocated for, and it seems like the planning board is on my side, is to. These are the 3 lots, now 1 lot right here. And you can see that they're adjacent to this town center. And I'm advocating for having this piece of property put into this town center. And when that happens, in next July, when 2003 goes into effect, then, as an affordable housing property under LD 2003, the minimum lot size for affordable housing goes down to 8,000 square feet. So, you know, there's gonna be, if we can find distances for wells and septic, there's gonna be a lot of opportunity to develop
To
those lots.
increase the density, right?
Did that answer your question or, okay?
Good thinking.
Rick, even if they did want to sell eventually and subdivide it out, that's gonna be a whole separate situation that they have to deal with.
Yeah, but that doesn't involve us.
No, that would involve us, I think.
Only if they do it more than once.
Oh, yeah.
They could theoretically, 20 years from now, you could break 1.5 acres off there with a house on it. And sell that without going through a subdivision type thing.
Well, the reason I
Right.
brought that up is that those 2 houses are gonna be on the same 1.5 acres.
Sure.
Okay, that's that's the way it is.
In the future.
Let's see.
Yep, that's cool.
One thing I wanted to ask you because of the design of the houses. Could you possibly rotate them to take advantage of solar if at one?
I tried to do that, but if you do the site visits, you'll see that. I gave you the big map. Somebody's got that big map there.
Okay.
When we got in there, I had Trevor go in there and start knocking down the trees so we could really, it was pretty overgrown, so we could see what was going on. And this is where the road, I had to put in a gravel road so we could get back to where they could drill that well, okay? And, when we got in here, this area down in here is pretty wet. And then this over in here is pretty wet. And so we're kind of getting, because of where the well is, where I couldn't turn the house south like I wanted to, because there just wasn't enough room to put the road on that side of the well. You can't put it on this side because it's too wet over here. And I probably could have, but the road, the driveway would have been going right by somebody's bedroom, and I didn't think that was a great idea. So we kind of got, you'll see when you go over there, I've got it all flagged out with little orange flags where the road's got to go, where the houses are going to go, where the septic fields are going to go. And yeah, I wanted to turn it south. That was the whole plan, but it didn't look right. It's pretty tight in there. It seems like there should be lots of property there, but there really isn't.
Yeah,
When you start trying to stay away from the wet spots.
okay. What about house two? Could that be rotated?
Well, I suppose if I wanted to knock down a whole bunch more trees, I might be able to rotate it, but, that's not the current
Yeah, I
plan.
just didn't know in terms of finances and what.
Well, I mean, I talked it over with, if we wanted to, it's not as attractive as putting it on the roof, but we could put in a solar field at some point if we want to do
Oh,
that,
joint one.
that kind of a thing.
Mhm.
But, I think just from an aesthetic thing and trying to separate the people as much as I can within the confines of that, because little distance, I think, helps people out. I think in your planning book there, you'll see, the house designs. I've actually changed that somewhat on the floor plan. Because of the way I've taken the door off the back, because they're back that fairly close to the lot line. And I put the door in the living area, which is exactly like the Reeby houses are. Okay, and then I spun one of those 180 degrees so that the doors would be on opposite sides because they're gonna be facing each other, see what I mean? So the footprint's exactly the same. It's just the floor plan has changed a little bit because I didn't think having a door on, if you put a stoop or something back here, then you'd have to move them further out. It's too close to the road, that sort of stuff. So the doors are gonna be, the door for house one is gonna be like this. The house is gonna be oriented like that with a door here, and the house on door two is gonna be oriented like, I think I did that backwards. Yeah. House two is gonna be like that with a door over here, and house one is gonna be like this with a door over there, all right? Did that make sense?
You got a back door too?
No, the door's coming out, the window's going in to the back door, because I didn't want that like that. But the footprint, as far as you all are concerned, is the same.
Right?
So this house is only gonna have one door?
No,
No, I don't have any.
I'm just moving the secondary egress from the back wall to the side wall, to the gable end.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures, it's got,
The front door and the side door.
yeah.
Did you find modular?
We're buying, if I can ever get to the finish line. Anybody know a good electrician that's not busy? Yeah, we've got that all planned out. I mean, all those changes I just talked about are already in front of Broman Builders in Belfast. You can do that alliteration, are the people that are providing the homes, but they're being built by Legacy Homes down in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
Dang. Nice shipping charge.
We built those two Reedy houses in 2011 and 12 on donated land for $553,000. These two houses on donated land are $1 million.
Oh, my God.
That's the state of play right now.
Wow.
$1 million. 980 something thousand is the estimate right now.
Close enough, right?
For what? For both, for each,
Both houses.
for both houses,
But
so
it's twice as much as it was 10 years.
500,000 each.
Yeah, it's twice as much as it was 10 years ago.
Not surprised.
So,
One thing I wanted to ask was is there any chance you can afford to put the utilities underground to bring in the,
Well, that's the plan.
oh, it is?
That's the plan.
Oh, good, good.
We found that we get a lot less tree damage.
Oh, did you already do that in?
Well, the Reedy houses are like that. That's all underground. Rudy James is all above ground. All of the houses except for the Reedy houses are above ground. But, when we did those are the first two I did, the only two I've done since I've been here, other than buying and refinishing.
Mhm.
They're underground, and these will be underground.
Is Reeby Road a paved road?
No,
So, and is it public or?
no, Dave asked me that question. If it is, the town owes me a bunch of money because I didn't maintain it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Ruthie James is
It's
town,
paved road, it's town road.
Reedy is not.
Reedy is not.
Okay.
Any other questions from anybody?
Oh, do you have to go through fire marshal or whatever for rental with, fire alarms or whatever? We have that question for Jay.
Right,
These are individual homes rather than an apartment over a
over a workspace.
workspace. So
Oh,
there's different,
so you don't have to.
yeah, the potential for something bad happening downstairs at JT's and affecting the upstairs
Much higher.
is much higher than,
What does happen is that because Maine Housing, it's not really Maine Housing's money, the state bonded money and they put a number, they won't even tell me what it is, in an account for the unbridged islands to develop affordable housing. You could apply for up to 4 houses or $210,000 per unit. And but you gotta come up with the rest of it. That's why IAP is doing too, because basically you gotta come up with another $600,000. But when Maine Housing, doles out that money, you get a construction manager with that, and they come out here and they have to sign off on everything you do. But what you also get is inspected by Maine Housing every so often. So they'll send you an email saying, we're coming to look at your houses and, you have to pass inspection.
And after they're being lived in?
Oh, yeah. Every 3 years, the Reeby houses have been inspected, so they've already been inspected 3 or 4 times now.
What?
because they fall into that affordable housing.
And also because state money.
State money and everything else, so they have,
But
they have to.
the Reeby houses were a 15-year forgivable loan, and so they went in 2012, so if we can stay out of trouble with Maine Housing until 2027, that $355,000 loan that we got that we don't have to service will be forgiven. That'll just disappear. And then we'll be up under the inspections because they're no longer part of that. However, apparently they didn't like that term, so these new houses are 45 years. So they're gonna come out every 3 years and inspect your house for 45 years. They go through, it depends on the guy you get. Some of them are real tight, I mean, they're down in the crawl space checking stuff and some of them, some of them aren't as tough, but.
They go in the house?
Oh, yeah, they go in every room, they're going in that crawl space, they're checking everything out. One guy got on us for having door stops that were not he didn't like our door stops. Huh? That's how serious some of these guys are.
What can't you like about a door stop?
They were put into the floor, drilled into the floor instead of like on the baseboard. He didn't like this because they were tripping hazards or something, you know?
They got me on a place in Rockland one time for having a stick in the window. Raise the window up, put a stick in there to hold it up.
Really?
Yeah, I said, really?
It's every farmhouse in
I said,
Maine.
I do this in my own home all the time. He said, well, you can do it in your own home, but if you rent one out, it's gotta be. I said, oh.
All right. So where are we at with this application, folks?
Thank you.
It's the, can the application be heard? Do we have to do that one?
This is minor development.
Yeah.
Is it
so we
a
have to
minor or major?
Minor,
Things are
says
minor.
minor, application for minor.
Correct? Okay, we're in agreement on that. Do we need to make a motion that it's a minor?
Yeah,
Yeah, so move.
second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Mhm.
Site review? Site review, anything other than site review?
I don't know.
I know we get criteria of approval, but that's after site review.
Brian, public hearing, we wait.
For a public hearing, we can make that motion now. I'll make a motion. I don't see a reason for public hearing.
Second it.
Any discussion? None being heard, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Nay. Can't rule it complete till we've done a site review. Do we have everything we need to do a site review?
Think so.
Sounds like
So,
everything's off the flag.
I go back over there and make sure that the flags haven't been taken up, because somebody's taken up some of my stakes before, but, and then if I'm around, you know, depends on when you go. If you give me notice, I'll go to the meeting.
Dave group sets that up.
All right,
Set it up with you, brother, yeah.
okay, well, we'll talk about that, because I got that first week of October is pretty tight for me, but we'll see if we can, if that's when it's gonna be, I'll have to work something out.
As long as we can do it sometime between now and October 16th.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll talk
the
about it.
butters have been notified. So,
I may have missed this, but just of interest. It's low moderate income rental units consistent with Maine housing income guidelines.
Okay,
Explain
these,
what it is now for Maine income.
these houses are just like the Reedy houses were, because, well, pretty much just like, and we are allowed under Maine housing guidelines to rent these houses up to 120% of area median income for the household size. That is what we're allowed to go up to. Now, the caveat with that is that's at the time they enter the household. Okay, so if their income should increase after that, it's okay. Because they don't want to like trap people in at a certain income level, you know, they want them to be able to improve their condition, so
And not
it's
change the house.
120% area median income at time of occupancy.
So what's the area median income in Waldo County?
You get that from Maine housing, you can get that from a lot of different places like HUD and some of these other
Yeah.
things, it's gonna be around $70,000, give or take, depending on what source you get it from, so you're looking at somebody making maybe $85,000, household income of $85,000, something like that.
And how do you set the rent?
Well, we'll do it the same way we do all of them, which is,
this question has nothing to do with, this is just information.
No, I just
This
said
is
that. I
nothing-
asked that as information.
Yeah,
I
this
just
has
thought it'd be
nothing to do
interesting
with
to.
approving or disapproving.
No, I just said it as
He's
information.
curious.
I gotcha.
If that's all right, I'm curious,
what we do is,
Roger.
when we get some idea of when the property is gonna become available, we advertise in the ways we do it. You know, we put it on the town website or the Facebook page rather. And, you know, we put flyers on the usual suspects and we put it on, we're gonna have we have a website, but it's in work, we're getting it set up. It'll be on there, that sort of thing, and then we'll get the applications that will come in. I already have some that have been, that I keep on file because I don't have any current availability. At that time, I'll reach out to those people and then say, you know, are you still interested? If the answer is yes, and I'll ask for an update of their application, and I gather all these applications up, I go through, make sure that they're complete application, and then I check their financials to make sure they don't make too much money, but they make enough money. You know, that's just kind of a window there. You gotta have some money. And then I'll take those people, those applications for those people, and we'll set up a selection board with IAP, which is almost always made up of locals because they're easier to get in a room. And then we'll sit down and talk about it. And the rent, to answer your question, is kind of based on a 30% maximum of what their household income is.
Yeah.
And with the caveat that we got bills to pay too, you know, so there's gonna be, you know, within our ability, we're gonna work with their income and our needs. And then that's how the rent gets set.
So you negotiate it to a certain extent.
Well, we'll talk about it as a group and then we'll find out what we think we need to get. And then we'll go back to those people that, if we select somebody, then I'll sit them down in a room and say, this is what the board came up with, are you good with that? You know? If the answer is yes, then we write on lease and we're off and running.
Good, thanks.
All right. Make a motion that we, table MD 02-23 for a site review.
Second.
All in favor, say, oh, excuse me, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Any opposed, say nay. Now, who's going? I'll go.
I can go all day.
Gil and Elizabeth. You said the coming week's no good.
Well, I mean, I've got the kitchen renovation going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I gotta take my dog in to get his stitches removed on Thursday afternoon. So I mean, next week I got Thursday morning and all day Friday.
I'd rather do it the week after.
Week after, yeah, fine.
Well, I could pretty much. Let me check, but right now I think I can pretty much do any of those days. Okay, it's just that first week of October, for some reason, everything landed right there.
I'll sit down tomorrow and see what my schedule looks like, and then I'll reach out to you guys. I'm not gonna pull a date out of the air.
Yeah, not off the top of my head, I can't think of anything on that second week of October that I can't work around. That'd be good.
Anything else? That's where we're at with that one, right? All right, thank you.
Thank you. You done with that big plan there, Bill?
Say again?
Are you done with that, the survey, or do you want to keep it?
Oh, no, I think we're done with it. I'll pull it back up and put it in the,
Is that the one that you all have to sign?
the,
That's
No, that's just a spot.
Okay.
I'm not trying to keep a hold of those for the contractors.
this came out of the green folder. I can't release it without permission, so.
Never mind. Ethan,
Once the permit's signed, you can have it back.
Ethan, I got one. I can always order more. They're not that expensive. I don't wanna screw around with the process.
I'm not playing. If Gary says it's okay, it's okay.
No, just hang on. Are we good?
yeah,
All right, thank you all.
good, thanks.
I'll talk to you
Thank
tomorrow.
Rick.
It came out of the green folder, not out of my desk, so. I don't mess with green folders. All right. Other business, CEO report for August. Looks like we had some stuff there.
Yep. I made copies for all of you and didn't keep one for myself, so. And it's been a week since I wrote it.
What's Mark Small filling for?
Because
Cause it's wet?
probably, because
He had to repair his septic,
I don't have one for.
okay, so that's where the little, what's the pathway, he didn't actually build another road, because it's all gonna get grown over again anyway.
So
Yeah,
that's
so
what that is.
that was an access field, so you could get in there to get to the septic,
Oh, okay.
and so you get in a piece of equipment in, and then one of the folks that Babe is working for offered him a bunch of free fill if he would just haul it away.
oh, nice.
So he took it. And I think at some point, he bought a new camper a few months ago. I think you might see that parked on the flat spot that he's created.
That's where they had to put that giant tank in, right?
I think so, yes. I drove by one day and I looked at the pile sitting there and I asked him, I said, that's looking a little bit more than 10 yards. And he said, oh.
Yeah. All right. But it was only 10 yards at a time.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on CEO report? All right. People wishing to address the planning board. No, nobody's speaking up, so correspondence, I have 0. Anybody for committee reports?
The subcommittee did meet and we met with the 3 members of the groundwater committee. And had a really good discussion with them. They had a lot of
Yeah.
good comments and suggestions of things that the town should be considering in terms of our water and groundwater. And
You're talking, is groundwater, we're talking drinking water or surface water?
surface water, groundwater, drinking water.
Drinking water.
Protecting it, and all the mechanisms for that. I haven't typed up, but they had some good comments there and questions. And suggestions. And, we figured we probably, of all their comments, we probably should still focus on what LD 2003 is doing, housing density primarily. So, we're gonna I'll try to speed up our frequency of meetings. So we have one scheduled for October 4th.
Is there anybody bringing up the
Third. October 3rd.
inevitable discussion that's gonna have to be made at some point about where do we draw the line about letting people put more wells in?
Yeah.
That wasn't really a concern.
As of, what was that number that he gave as of 20 years ago, the last time study they did? 10,000, there was enough aquifer on here for 10,000 homes.
Oh, is that right?
There,
Where are we at?
That was 20 years ago, but
900 and something.
Yeah, I was,
yeah, I think generally they thought that they want to work on getting funds for another study.
yeah,
Expand on what's already been done. To try to do background as to if we do have to have an ordinance restricting future growth, how to do it. Or whatever it would be.
And they're, gonna be talking to, how many other single aquifers are there and?
Oh, right, I looked them up just now, there's only 4, they're all islands.
they're all islands.
Yeah,
See what they're doing.
Yeah.
right, that's in Maine.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
I would not want to. be-
Oh, one was swimming pools, which does make sense. That probably requiring,
Massive amounts of water, this 30,000 gallons easy, and
you know, bringing it in, importing it.
And, I guess we know of two houses now that their insurance company is making them put in 50,000 gallons fire suppression tanks.
Yeah, that's where Mark got some of his dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And those have to get filled up somehow.
It's huge too. And the expense, thank you insurance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that the Matus swimming pool was like 20 by 40, I think. Might have been that big, but it was like a 30,000 gallon pool, and you're talking 50,000 gallons for fire suppressant?
It's a big house though, so maybe based on the house.
Yeah, I think that Solandi's is even bigger.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Solendi's had to put 3 of them in. I think Haley has got.
And that's mandated by the
By
insurance
the
company.
insurance company.
Yeah.
They're not gonna cover you if you don't.
That's right.
Right. Well, it goes back to the old days, if you didn't have the right kind of tag hanging on your door, they would come fight the fire. The insurance companies used to run the fire.
That's when they started the whole
Way
fire
back.
insurance.
Way back, and if you didn't have one of those tags on your home when the fire department rolled up, sorry.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
What's the municipal fire department?
No, these were a volunteer,
Just volunteers and
but they were run by the
people who were
insurance.
insured, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy,
That's how it all started, but that was back in colonial days.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I know a guy that required blood over the windowsill and doorpost too, so.
You know who operated the ambulances in Rockland before Rockland Fire Department actually got EMTs and paramedics and things like that?
Who's
Funeral
that?
homes.
What?
You know,
The funeral.
Yeah, I was gonna say, undertakers, yeah.
Yep, they operated the ambulances.
all right,
Yeah.
Certain cases, they made it handy.
Yeah.
all right. I have no additional business. Anybody wanna call for an adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Oh, God.